must know that by now. I mean, he exploited you. Doesn't that matter?
Let's get one thing straight, Walter. I'm nobody's victim.
What I'm trying to tell you, that's what I've been telling you. I'm not trying to condescend.
Of course you are. Would you be saying this when I made a pile of money somewhere? Sorry, Walter, I can't take that. I made no choice. The icebox is empty, and the man was sitting there with his mouth hanging open. Look, I didn't start this, and the whole thing doesn't interest me, but when you start talking about making choices, and I should have continued with science, I have to say something. Just because you want things a certain way, doesn't make them that way.
All right. Then tell me, how do you see it?
Look, you've been sick, Walter. Why upset yourself with all this?
It's important to me.
Why? It's all over there.
I want it to be of some use. I mean, I've learned some painful things, but it isn't enough. I wanted to act on what I know.
Act? In what way?
I feel that I could be of some help. I mean, why live only to repeat the same mistakes again and again? I mean, I didn't want to let that opportunity go by as I did before. And you know what? I must say, if this is as far as you can go with me, then you're only defeating yourself.
Oh, like I did before. Is that what you mean?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I meant.
That's what I thought. There's one thing about the cops. You get to learn to listen to people, because if you don't hear right sometimes, you end up with a knife in your back. In other words, I dreamed up the whole problem.
Victor, my $500 was not what kept you from your degree. You could have left Pop and gone right on. I mean, he was perfectly fit.
And 12 million unemployed. What was that, my neurosis? Yeah, I hypnotize myself every night. The scrounge got to use lettuce from the Greek restaurants.
We're not
We're
trying to
We're eating garbage here, Buster! What are you trying to do? Turn this whole into a dream? And perfectly fit. What about the inside of his head? The man was ashamed to go into the street. Don't tell me he's gone now. He was here then, wasn't he? And the system broke down. Did I invent that?
If you could reach beyond your anger,
Oh.
I'd like to tell you something, Vic. I mean, I know I should have said this many years ago, but I did try. When you came to me, I told you, remember I said, ask Dad for the money. I did say that. He had money left after the crash.
What are you talking about?
He had nearly $4,000 when they were eating garbage here.
How do you know that?
He asked me to invest it for him.
Invest it.
Yes, right after he sent you to me for the loan. I mean, that's why I never sent him more than I did. And you know what? If I had the strength of my convictions, I wouldn't have sent him that.
No, he actually had it.
Thick.
In the bank.
Thick. That's what he was living on, basically, till he died. What we gave him wasn't enough. He didn't know
You can
that.
see how supportive, couldn't you?
Yeah, for how long, though?
What do you mean how long? You can see how I was walking out.
Yeah, I know, but he was sure you'd leave sooner or later.
Why didn't you tell me he had that kind of money?
I did, when you came to me for the loan.
Ask Dad?
Yes!
Well, what did I tell you in the first place? I had the faintest idea he had $4,000 under his ass.
Yeah, that's just a second.
Now, cut it out, Walter. I'm sorry, that's a little insulting. I'm not 5 years old. What am I supposed to make of this? You knew he had that kind of money. You came here many times. You sat here, the two of you, and watched me walk around in this suit and said nothing. And now you expect me to, what?
You certainly knew he had something, Victor.
What do you want here?
What do you want here? All I can tell you is that I wouldn't sit around eating garbage, looking at having that look me in the face. Right here, Victor. Your degree was right here. Yeah, right there, if nothing else. But if you want to go on with this fantasy, it's all right with me. I mean, God knows I've had plenty of my own.
Fantasy?
It's a fantasy, Victor. Yeah, your father was penniless and your brother was son of a bitch, and you heart in it at all? I said to ask him because you could see right in front of your face that he had some money. You knew it then. And you certainly know it now.
What does that change? I know I'm talking like a fool, but what does that change? You couldn't rely on anybody anymore, and that was unbearable to me. You kicked him in the face. Yeah, and our mother. The night he told us he was bankrupt, our mother. When she was all dressed up for some affairs, right there on this couch. She had her hair piled up and her long earrings, and he had his tuxedo on. And he came in, and he made us all sit down, and he told us it was all gone. And she vomited all over his arms. His hands just kept vomiting like 35 years coming up, and he sat there stinking like a sewer. And a look came over him. I've never seen a man look that way before. He just sat there letting it dry on his hands. What's the difference, what you know? Do everything you know? Not that I excuse it, it was idiotic. I don't need anybody to tell me that. We were brought up to believe in one another. You fulfill that crap, you can't help just trying to keep it going. I thought if I stuck with him, you could see somebody was still on his side. Can't explain it, I just wanted to keep it. Just wanted to keep it from falling apart.
It won't work, Vic. You see it yourself, don't you? It's not that at all. You see that, don't you?